Hey, so it's been quite a while. I am now 5 months on testosterone. I did plan on doing more updates at, like the 1 month, 2 month, 3 month marks, but I didn't, which is very like me. So, basically, just want to go over changes that I have experienced, the physical and emotional, because that is a thing. So, physically, the first thing, I actually wrote some stuff down, so this is organized. The very first thing to start, oh, just a warning, I'm going to be very frank about anything, sexual, body parts, things like that. So if that's not something that you're down to hear about me, if you know me or if you don't, just know that maybe that could be triggering for you or uncomfortable. But I do just want to talk very frankly about everything because I think that doesn't happen too much. So just because the very first change that happens on T, at least for me, it is different for everyone in terms of what changes happen when. That was something I wasn't aware of that my doctor went over with me. I thought I had it in my head, basically the order of things, what to expect. But basically, the very first thing for me, at least, that happened was the downstairs growth. So whatever you want to call that. I'm just going to avoid any terms actually because everyone can think of it differently, but your main, I guess, pleasure center down there, if you were assigned female at birth, that does grow and change. So I feel like I personally have gotten a lot of growth, but I'm wondering if that's kind of just a thing that happens for people. Like maybe this is like kind of a thing with like cis men too, where they all think that like their dicks are a lot bigger than they are. I don't know. But I would say within the first, few weeks, there was a very noticeable difference. And at this point, at 5 months, it kind of stopped growing because like you feel when it's growing. It feels very uncomfortable, not painful, just like, oh god, like you're just all of a sudden hyper aware of your genitals at all times, and you're like and it's like you can feel it's like, yeah, I only really noticed it when I felt like it was actively growing, which it has stopped at this point. I don't know if that means it's done forever. I don't really know how that works, but I haven't felt that same kind of like sensation of just like that discomfort, like what's happening, something's changing kind of thing, for a few months at this point. But yeah, I've gotten, like when I'm like aroused, it's like almost like 2 inches at this point, which makes me feel pretty good because honestly, like if I had been born in a body that would have been, assigned male at birth, the average, what people would think of as a dick traditionally, size is 5 inches. So if you got like 2 inches going on, like that's fine with me. Like that's just, to me, I'm just like, okay, then I'm okay having a small dick. I don't care. Like small dicks are great. I'm into it. But yeah, so that was a thing. Very uncomfortable at first, but again, not really painful. But you do have to change the underwear that you're wearing. If you're used to wearing like cotton underwear, that's not really gonna feel the best. You want to go for something a little more spandexy, a little more like slick, if that makes sense. Like maybe more like kind of like workout material. Think like Spanx, like I don't know what those are called, but yeah, and that's something hopefully whatever doctor is prescribing you the testosterone would go over or be aware of, if you ask about what the specific underwear material is. I will be better prepared for that next time. So that's the first thing. And then for me, the second thing that started happening was my voice changing. And it's just such a weird thing with your voice because I really don't know when it actually really started to change. This is when I'm thinking I should have had like a 1 month, 2 month comparison, whatnot. But it's like I hear myself every day, so I really didn't feel like it was changing, and I was kind of like, God, is this ever gonna change? Like it really doesn't seem like much is happening. But listening to my voice play back now, I'm like, oh, that's a change. That is very different. Like even I know watching this video again, after watching like my past one, it's gonna be like, whoa. So everyone that's been telling me my voice sounds different isn't just lying, because I have that idea that like maybe they're just trying to make me feel better or whatever, and like more is happening. So yeah, the voice thing. So that has continued dropping. Am definitely more conscious of how different it is at this point. It does sound deep in my head, but it actually sounds deeper recorded, which is very unusual because I was used to always feeling like my voice sounded a lot deeper in my head than it actually was, and now I'm getting the reverse, which is so strange. I definitely didn't expect that. But yeah, so now I'm thinking this might be helpful if you're watching this and you have voice dysphoria. Just keep in mind, like, as and you plan on taking testosterone, just keep in mind that as your voice changes, record yourself and play it back, because that can really help, because I definitely have experienced voice dysphoria. So like that's one of the reasons why I started taking tea. And gosh, do I just feel a lot better when I record myself real quick, like on Snapchat or something, even, and just like play it back. I'm like, oh God, yes, okay, this is changing. This sounds great, and this is awesome. Okay, so voicing. So then body hair kind of started happening for me. Specifically, like at first it was little things. Like I'm like, oh, I'm getting like more hair on my nipples. That's interesting. And so I don't shave anything. So keep that in mind. So like I haven't I don't really know if my pubes have gotten longer, but it basically, my body hair is growing in a way that it's my leg hair mostly, and it's almost like my pubic hair just like started growing down and out. So it's almost like my leg hair is like a continuation of my pubic hair or something. Because finally my thighs are getting hairy, which was like, what? It's really exciting. I love it. I'm just so proud of all my little hairs. It's just like my thighs were completely bare before starting tea. I mean, like, I guess there were maybe like little blonde hairs covering everywhere, but it was pretty smooth, pretty bare. And now it's like, I don't know if I can try to show you. Probably won't really show up on camera, but yeah, check that out. If you can see it, I'm gonna watch this back and you're not gonna be able to see anything. Also, my happy trail is trying. I'm so proud of it. I can't wait. I will love, like, having a happy trail. Like, that's always been a thing I've wanted really badly. I've always really admired people with happy trails and just been like secretly wanting one. And it's trying. It's starting to come in, and it's growing. Like, it's like my hair from my belly button is growing down, but also like up. So I'm very interested to see like what my, like, if I'll have a hairy chest, whatever. My bio dad is very, very hairy, so I'm just wondering kind of like what's up with that. So something I don't know if you can see, speaking of hair, well, let me do this in order. Okay, so I'm talking about things in order when they started happening for me. So so it was growth, then voice, then body hair stuff, then more like muscle changes, like just more noticing a little more muscle definition and tone. Tea really makes it so much easier to gain muscle and work out and stuff. It's absurd. It kind of like pisses me off almost, because like when before I was taking it and I would work out, it's just like I felt like I saw no improvement. But it's like with tea, when you have higher levels of testosterone in your body, you see changes so much quicker, which is great for me. I need that or else I give up and like I just stop. So that's a really good way to keep me consistent with working out. So I did start working out at about 3 months, maybe a little before 3 months. So it was in January, and I started October 25th. Oh, also super important. So I started on low dose testosterone. So I was taking half a tube of the testosterone gel, so 25 milligrams. The tubes are 50 milligrams. And about 17 days in on tea, I think it was 17 days in, I had, my doctor's appointment check in to see how I'm feeling about starting it and everything. And I was like, well, nope, I need more. Let's do this. How can I up my dose? And so she just doubled it. So now I'm on full dose testosterone. It is the gel though, so I'm told that makes the process slower than injections, which the pace I am super comfortable with. I'm really digging this pace. I'm really feeling really good about changes and everything. And it's been nice because like the way things are going, I kind of, it's not that I forget about being on tea, because it is something I have to put on daily because it's the gel and everything. It's kind of part of that ritual. But it's like I feel more free to just kind of not focus on it as much and just kind of like live my life and like figure out other things going on in my life. Um, Anyways, back to working out. So I started at about 3 months, and I'm noticing that my arms and shoulders and stuff are getting bigger, and not just like it's not just me looking in the mirror and noticing, but like shirts and stuff are starting not to fit anymore over like my arms and shoulders. So I know that this change is actually happening, and it's not just in my head because like yeah, I'm starting to not fit into shit. So, um, right. So something that started more in like the I'd say maybe it started around 3 months, so that'd be like end of January. So definitely this year, because I started in 2016. So definitely this year. The my mustache. I don't know if you can see this. Maybe a little. You can probably see the corners. See, it's growing like outside in. Yeah, it's great. I hated it at first because I'm just like, oh god, this is like so shitty, and this is part of puberty. I get it, like growing a shitty mustache, but I'm just like frustrated that it's I don't know. But part of me really doesn't want to shave it. Like I do like it. It's also it just feels very soft and nice. I'm into it. But it also is kind of like a little like I don't know. It's like a little badge of testosterone and um it's part of my journey and I kind of like at first I hated it but now I'm kind of like I'm also curious to see what happens if I don't shave it, like how it changes if I don't shave it, or like I just kind of want to see how it grows in. Just, I mean, I know I'm probably not going to keep it. I'm not really into mustaches. I'm into like beards and stuff. Like I'm definitely excited. Oh, I just like reshaved the sides of my head, so you won't be able to see how far these can get down. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely into like, some sort of like beard thing and like sideburns, which also, I don't know if you can see the like hairs that started on my chin. And it's just like my facial hair that exists that's like, even though it's just like kind of blonde and everything, it's growing like there's a lot more of it and it's starting to just it's I think it's barely starting to darken right now, but there's definitely more and more and more of like these blonde hairs that are getting pretty long and everything that are starting. So that's been interesting. Um, and yeah, as far as right, so the first 2 months I was on T is pretty much all of like 2016 that I was on T. So end of October and then November and December. The other people on T will talk to you about this. The big three H's, so hot, hungry, and horny, were just in full swing, super hard. And now that's finally like this year. I'd say after like 3 months or so, that started to kind of like decline, which is great because I was like, if I have to be this goddamn hungry and horny for the rest of my life, like this is gonna be I can't do this. This is awful. Especially the horny part when at that time I didn't really have like as many like sexual partners or anything down. So and I can't really get off from masturbating. It just doesn't really work for me. Like I have to have another partner, otherwise I just get bored. So that was very frustrating to deal with. But I'm so happy that has started to decline. It has already been like almost 14 minutes at this point, so I can talk about emotional changes a different time. But this will hopefully give you a good overview of what you would expect physically for up to 5 months, or at least what I've experienced. Um, yeah, I will try to do that emotional one soon and actually start posting maybe monthly updates, or at least like a 6 month, a 9 month, 12 month something. Um, but yeah, I love you all if you're watching. Being trans is great and okay, and well, I mean, it's not great, but like, you know what I mean. I'm trying to be really supportive right now. So if you're watching this, you're great and I love you and you're going to do it and things are going to hopefully get better for you. And yeah, bye.